Liberty First Credit Union, Woodhouse Auto, and by Midwest Bank.
And welcome to Lincoln, Nebraska semifinal Friday. We're on to the Class B games here in the afternoon docket, and we have a rematch of a semifinal from last year as Crete takes on Omaha Skutt. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen with you. Andy, what more could you want than a rematch from last year? Not only is this a rematch, this was a game where Skutt was the higher seed, Crete was more of the underdog. It came down to the final play of the game. Skutt gets a block to seal it, go on, wins the state title. But we're back. 1 year later, here we are.
Reset, repeat, let's get ready to rumble, right? Skutt played such a fantastic game, came up with a huge defensive play at the end. You can bet that's been in the craw of the Cardinals all season long, and I think they welcome the chance to get the same matchup in the same very spot.
Roles are flipped in the sense that Crete comes in as the top seed, Andy, undefeated, not a single loss on the season. They are firing on all cylinders, and they're a fun team to watch. We saw them earlier this year.
Yeah, we did, and they had to persevere through some injuries there to knock off Wahoo at home. A phenomenal game where Glock went up for like 50-some-odd points. Getting back to this game, though, Crete, we need more storylines, working on an undefeated season, and what's in their way? The Skyhawks once again. This team is 1 year more mature. You have a bevy of four-year starters. I really like where Crete is at mentally right now.
Well, speaking of four-year starters, let's go into our key players, and one of them, Aiden McDowell. Been doing it for 4 years. He was just a spot-up shooter, Andy. He has developed his game, and he does just about everything for Crete.
You took me right where I wanted to go. Watching the evolution of Aiden McDowell's game has been fantastic. We were there in the early days where it was kind of tough sledding, right, for the Crete Cardinals. Aiden had to take his lumps early on. He has turned into a fabulous player, a three-level scorer, all the things you can say. Facilitator, he moves the pace. He is the straw that stirs the drink for the Cardinals.
McDowell averaging 19 a game, coming off an 11-point performance in the first round of state. On the flip side, we're going to Brock Schola Jr. for Skutt. He's 6'8", Andy, but it's really his versatility that makes him so valuable.
Well, it's his versatility that adds a lot of versatility to the Skyhawk team. Yes, he's 6'8", but he uses that frame so well. Great compliment to their other 6'8" player out on the court.
Scholl averaging 20 and 7, coming off an 8-point performance in the first round game yesterday. Well, that's it for the key players. We have a third member of our broadcast team. You may know him. His name is Eric McKay, and there's headlines all around the state tournament, Andy. Teams, games, scores, but there are two specific headlines rotating around Skutt and Crete. He has more info on both.
Thank you, Brandon. Yeah, the on-court product here has been amazing this week, but because the internet is what it is, unfortunately, it's things off the court that are gathering attention. Yesterday, video surfaced online of an altercation in the Omaha Skutt fan side. Two people getting into a fight were eventually escorted out. Officials with the NSAA telling us it was someone from Skutt, someone from another fan base who were escorted out of the building. Now, this is the second straight week this has happened on Skutt's side of things. It happened during the girls' state tournament as well, and that led Skutt President Jeremy J. Moore to issue an email last night to parents in the district apologizing. We got a copy of that email. It said, in part, quote, "The headlines focused on the behavior of adults who put themselves before our kids' moment to shine. This is unacceptable." President Moore going on to say, "We failed our children, the team, and the school, and it cannot happen again." Spirits are high here. I talked to Coach Juergens. Everybody's in a good mood, ready to go. From the NSAA standpoint, it's business as usual. No added security or anything like that. Everybody assuming things are going to run without a hitch here today. Now, because I love nothing more than being an unending bearer of bad news, more bad news. This related, though, to the on-court product. Crete's Ben Ehlers, their versatile post, out, re-injuring his leg in their victory over Platteview yesterday. So Coach Tony Siski is going to be shorthanded the rest of the way as Crete tries to win a state championship. We've got more from Brandon and Andy coming up. You're watching the pregame show on News Channel Nebraska.
The pregame show is sponsored by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people, you know, we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
The way we use electricity has changed a lot over the years. What hasn't changed is our commitment to make sure it's there the moment you need it. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
And welcome back. It's 2 minutes roughly out till tip-off and starters. Let's take a look at our school spotlight, which is brought to you by Currency. If you need help financing big-ticket items, Currency's here to help. Visit gocurrency.com. And here, Andy, you're getting a look at Crete. 46 appearances for this program, 3 state titles, the last coming in 1975. They have a real shot to make it 4 this year.
They've been knocking on the door last couple of years. It's really been fun watching the growth under head coach Siski once he kind of called Crete his home.
Omaha Skutt, not a bad program themselves. 17th appearance this year. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 state titles, including the fact that they are the defending state champs, and they're hoping to make it 3 in a row.
Just a phenomenal program, really across the board. Wrestling, football, and of course basketball.
Glad that you're with us. Game 3 of 6 here on News Channel Nebraska.
That's my guy. That's Steve, the only male cheerleader on the Crete squad there, and he gave me a point prediction, Brandon.
All right.
Said the Cardinals by 30. So I thought we might keep it a little closer, but I really picked up on his enthusiasm. I liked where he was at. I tell you what, if some of the players have that thought process going on, I think good things could happen for the Crete Cardinals.
Well, we'll certainly see what plays out. We're pausing now for the national anthem. Glad you're with us, though. Skutt and Crete here on News Channel Nebraska. Coming up next.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Aloe. You deserve the fiber things in life. Aloe Fiber. And by Unity Eye Centers, your provider of choice in Norfolk, Columbus, Grand Island, Pierce, and St. Paul.
I think if you're somebody who's starting a business, or you're a farmer, or you just want somewhere to trust with your finances, you should choose Midwest Bank, because we work very hard to understand your situation and be a part of every step that you're going through. We truly care what's happening in our communities. We want to be out there, be a part of what's going on, and you'll feel the heart that we have for our communities. You'll feel the belief we have in our customers, and you'll really understand that that's the Midwest Bank way.
Welcome back. Non-starters being announced. Here's a look at that Class B bracket. Crete, the top seed, taking on the 4 seed. You'd call this chalk, Andy, but that's okay.
Yep.
Omaha Skutt and Crete battling it out. Norris, that was a game that went to overtime, but the Titans survived, so we'll be seeing them next in Scottsbluff, representing the Panhandle after their victory over Roncalli last night.
And that was a tightly contested game as well. I mean, I was tied multiple times down the stretch, so that bottom half of the bracket, yes, it might be chalk, but there was a lot of things going on during those 2 games.
Again, Skutt the defending champs. Crete trying to make it 4 should they advance to Saturday and get the win. And again, a rematch of what we saw here in this same round. Skutt and Crete battled it out. Crete made a valiant rally attempt, had the ball when it was 57-55. Skutt got a shot in the paint, and it was rejected as time expired for the Skutt Skyhawks to hold on to that 57-55 win. And then, of course, they went on to win it all after defeating Platteview 57-50 in the final.
Running a little math through my head here, that was their last loss. They're sitting at 26-0. That was their last loss.
And they don't want to make it 2 in a row to Skutt.
You always remember those losses a little bit more than those victories as well, so you can tell or you can bet that those guys have been thinking about it.
Now let's take a look at our starters, brought to you by Unity Eye Centers. Kyle Cannon, Will O'Doherty, Dylan Van Dyke, Brock Scholl, and George Zeeble rounding out the starting 5. And again, we talked about Scholl. He had 8 yesterday. Cannon had 17, O'Doherty had 14, Zeeble had 19. A lot of capable weapons.
There really is, and they share the basketball so well. And what a 1-2 punch between Zeeble and Scholl, 2 6'8" fellows that do different things, and they do them very, very well.
And apologies, make sure we have pronunciation correct. It's Zeeble, so George Zeeble rounding out the starting 5. And here's a look at Crete. We hit on the fact that Aiden McDowell's pretty good at basketball, averaging 9 a game. So Kenner Spitak, Justice Gardner, Trace Eggy, and again, Ben Ehlers rather, he is not in the starting 5. Started yesterday, re-injured his ACL, is not going to be playing here, and we'll see how the Cardinals deal with it. Again, he had that issue since Wahoo, and the Cardinals didn't drop a game, but it's certainly a key piece they're missing.
You know, when a player like that goes down, it tends to really set everybody up. You know they have to kind of help fill the void, so it kind of elevates the team play. And Theo Bowling, a senior, battle-tested 6'6" senior, is going to try to step in here and be that starter. If I'm a Crete fan, I don't feel too bad about Theo stepping in this spot. Yes, it's a tough break, and you hate to see it, but you also have to like what you have coming in as a replacement here, if you want to call it a replacement, in Theo Bowling.
Well, it's about that time. State high school basketball here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Glad that you're with us. Crete undefeated. Skutt sitting at 18-6 on this season. As mentioned, the Cardinals 26-0, their last loss to Skutt right here at this exact same point last year.
Yeah, Crete, they have a multitude of scorers that can do it from different spots on the court, but when they can push the tempo, when they can turn you over, get into transition, that's where they're at their very best. So ball security is going to be a premium this entire afternoon for the Skyhawks.
We have Cannon with it on the wing, and he decides to pull up from way downtown. Comes up short. Rebound grabbed by McDowell.
Excellent job coming off his man, McDowell, to snag that rebound.
And his in and out board on the other end for Scholl.
There's Scholl already getting his name into the stat sheet. No surprise. So through this motion offense that Skutt likes to run, they've already gotten a couple of switches and mismatches. They haven't been able to take advantage yet. Kind of feels like they're just feeling out this defense, seeing what they can get out of it.
6 on the shot clock. Goes up with 2 and doesn't drop. Rebound by Gardner, and Crete is quickly coming the other way. There's the kick out. 3 is long. Offensive board by McDowell, but he loses it.
It looked like he tried to go up with it all in one motion. That gave numbers the other way. Oh, Gardner looked like he got the block, but I think he's going to get the whistle here.
Getting another look courtesy of 5 Points Bank.
It was quick, and obviously if he would have hit hand or that top part of the arm and wrist, that would have been on the other side of the camera.
First one doesn't fall for him.
Skutt student section going with that white out.
Red, blue, and white on the other end for Crete as we have our first point of the game. Scholl knocks down his second free throw. And McDowell tries to get to the rack. He wanted a foul, won't get it.
I like that decision, though, working down the middle of the lane. You just had a whistle blown on you at the other side of the court. A lot of times you'll get one back. Not the case this time around.
With a foul away from the ball, looks like they're going to give it to, who is that, Bowling.
Today's officials, Chris Eischeid, Rod Hartman, and Macho Wilson. Shout out Macho, a former Peru State Bobcat back in my time there, and you wouldn't find too many better basketball players at that NAI level, and I'm not just saying that because he's a Bobcat, Brandon.
Never, never. As Scholl knocks down the triple from the corner.
We talked about his versatility in the pregame, didn't we? Wow.
McDowell comes down and answers right back. There's the first field goal for Crete. 5:38.
Quick answer.
Back inside to their other 6'8" player, but instead Zeeble shuffled his feet.
Crete fans kind of holding their breath when they heard that whistle. They couldn't afford for Theo Bowling to pick up his second foul there as Zeeble was trying to work back around into the middle of the lane. One more Bobcat shout out while we got a little dead space here. Just won the second conference title in a row. Got some good things going on the old hardwood down there in Peru, Nebraska right now.
The pride of all river countries, that fair to say?
There you go.
Svitak hits the short jumper. We're tied 4-4.
And right there, getting back on defense. That's what you love from Svitak and his game.
Right back down, it's Van Dyke with a triple from the corner.
My goodness, that was a tough shot in the corner, well defended.
And McDowell, we're trading blows.
Oh, the body control, Brandon. You see that move, the way he was able to extend past that last defender.
Don't believe we mentioned this in the pregame. If you didn't know, McDowell is Crete's all-time leading scorer. He passed that mark in the Elkhorn game this season, and there he goes again.
Doesn't think twice, so decisive with the ball, and talked about the evolution of his game when he was a youngster. I mean, he was starting as a freshman. You know, when head coach Siski took over, he's been through it. You're just happy for the guy. Easy guy to cheer for.
You had McDowell gamble on this steal. Kick out. O'Doherty, and he buries it.
That's where Skutt is so good and so disciplined. They know once they get a defender off of his spot, they'll just work the ball around, make that extra pass, find that open shooter.
How about the up and under for Eggy?
I tell you what, if you're wearing blue, red, or white here, the Crete colors, you're pretty happy with the flow of your offense. They are in quite a rhythm.
It's 10-all just for a second.
Okay, if you're wearing black or green, you're pretty happy with the flow of your offense. This is amazing, these two offenses, how they're clicking right now.
That's Van Dyke's second triple. Gardner in and out.
What a save.
But right now, Skutt, 4 field goals. They're all from downtown.
I believe that was Van Dyke who saved that loose ball going out of bounds. Multiple substitutions from both sidelines here.
Wendelin has entered for Crete, and Wisink for Skutt. Another look at that most recent triple.
Yeah, Van Dyke just stepping into that one at the top of the key. That's where, as a defender, when you're in scramble mode, you almost just have to find the three-point line because you know one of those shooters are camping out for the Skyhawks.
Look out! Aiden McDowell with the flush.
There we go. My goodness.
Action-packed first quarter here on News Channel Nebraska. 13-12 your score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. Cardinals in transition. And look at that ball movement.
Yep. Fantastic job with the extra pass and the extra pass to seal the deal.
Svitak with his second bucket there. 14-13 Crete.
And Burton coming in off the bench, making an impact early. Steal the takeaway.
That shot is long from Linderman.
Yep.
Looks like they'll give that to Wisink.
Wisink had the right idea, trying to get position there, but just kind of extended that elbow out, got it into the back of that Crete offensive player. I do believe that warrants a whistle. Couple more substitutions. It's kind of like when one coaching staff makes a move, the other guy's like, hey, got to match that.
Two very experienced coaches in Siski and Jurgens. As we have a foul, free throw shots coming up.
Kyle Cannon, one of those team leaders for the Catholic Skyhawks, huddling everybody up there after that whistle, trying to calm the nerves a little bit. Love to see that. Your team leader, captains, all those things. That doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but that could really put somebody in a better headspace, or, kind of relieve some pressure.
Svitak hits them both. Crete with a three-point advantage here, under 2 to play in the opening quarter. And Gardner rips it down.
That was a really nice half-court set. Looked like that was going to be an easy lay-in because McDowell was beat off the dribble, couldn't fight through the screen.
And it's stolen away. Kyle Cannon with the easy layup.
All right, so didn't get the last lane. Make it a little easier the next time down the court. Good on Cannon.
My, oh my.
You just really can't defend that, Brandon. A little runner, making defenders run into each other. Had a little insult to injury.
That was McDowell, who's now at 10.
Good decision, backing it back out here. Baseline wasn't open.
A very deep three comes up short. Now the shot clock is off.
Cannon has that green light from his coaching staff. I mean, that looks like a really deep three, and it is, but he can knock those down.
We're just wrapping up this first quarter that's brought to you by John Henry's, our family serving yours. John Henry's, our first quarter sponsor. There's 6 seconds remaining. Gardner for three. It's off the iron. And that shot won't count even if it goes. 8 minutes gone. 18-15 your score. Crete with the lead here in the Class B semifinals on News Channel Nebraska. Stay with us.
Atlo's fiber internet has definitely increased the productivity of our office. It's one of those things with internet and being a marketing company, we have to have it on and running all the time. And it's always up. We don't run into lags, we don't run into latency issues. It doesn't vary throughout the day, it doesn't vary on weekends or busy time periods. We have local service here. You need to go talk to somebody. They're just a quarter of a mile away for us to be able to chat with somebody. And that is a huge peace of mind for me as a business owner. So I would not hesitate at all to recommend Allo to anybody.
Salas weaving in, weaving out, and skying for...
Hey sports fans, looking for a convenient pit stop before or after the game? Look no further than Good To Go convenience stores. We're here to keep you going. Fuel up your tank with a refreshing drink and grab one more snack for the road. Good To Go, your winning play for game day.
And hey, I can dunk it too.
Good To Go convenience stores. Fuel up for the game locations in Lincoln, York, Geneva, Bruning, and Hebron.
Welcome back. Getting a look at Kyle Juergens in his 11th year with this Skutt program.
You know, he really did a fantastic job this season because they hit a little rough patch midway through where they dropped 3 games in a row. That's just some really good, competition. Lincoln Pius X, Omaha Central, and Bennington. A couple teams that were down here in Lincoln.
To your point, as this three's on the way, 9 seniors on last year's Skutt State Championship team.
Yeah.
Just brought back 1 starter this year, and Skutt finds themselves in a familiar spot. That one in and out for Van Dyke. There's Gardner, a little bit long from downtown.
Skyhawks so good on the boards. They do the little things. Nice box out. And Gardner's just been off the mark. He's a big guy, big fella. Earlier in his career, he really stayed around the painted area. He's extended his game out. You got to think he'll start, sooner than later, he'll probably knock one of those shots down.
Well, we know he has the range. As mentioned, we covered that Crete Wahoo game, which was a great affair. Wahoo is on to the C1 championship game, and we had Marcus Gallant go off for 54 in that one.
Yeah.
Gardner, though, he kind of got lost in things. He went 5 for 5 from beyond the arc in that game.
It really proved to be the difference, the winning factor there.
One short.
Crete got away with one there. Sweetalk rolled the dice. That's where Cannon usually can knock that down, that open jumper.
And McDowell, I would say he's feeling it.
My goodness, talking about knocking down jumpers. McDowell once again, AD.
13 points for McDowell. Crete leading 21-15. Skutt takes a timeout. We will as well. 6:40 left here in the first half.
That is literally the funniest thing ever.
And then I said...
It wasn't, but this guy could use a win. Even if it's not as big of a win as I get with free Kasasa Cash checking. Kasasa Cash pays me a really high rate and refunds ATM withdrawal fees nationwide. So I feel like a queen. Has a mega bank ever made you feel that way? Or is it more like this guy? Take back banking with Kasasa Cash.
Get Kasasa checking at Liberty First Credit Union.
Well, you have some Cardinals fans in the house.
There we
of course,
go.
Skutt as well attended. First game of the afternoon session. Both of these fan bases showing out.
For sure. Some
Stardom
youngsters
young.
there. Yep. Wearing that green. Is that a Kelly green, a forest green? What is that?
I think Kelly.
Kelly?
Let's go with Kelly.
Let's go with Kelly. All right.
Yeah.
That is, we're just getting word from the truck, our fabulous producers and directors, saying the official scorecard has it as Kelly green.
That's what it is then.
That was my first guess, by the way.
Yeah,
So
I can verify that was before we got word from the truck. We appreciate Connor, though, doing the help as well. 21-15. Nice pass inside. 6.5 to play. Now it's kicked back out to O'Doherty. And Van Dyke earns himself a trip to the line.
Yep, just textbook inside out basketball, finding Van Dyke in the corner. You got to respect that three. He's already knocked one down. So you try to close out, and he blows by you, gets baseline, and once that happens, number 12, he knows how to get to the rim.
Van Dyke knocked down those 2 triples in the first quarter. He's now sitting at 7.
You see how he has that hair kind of dyed? Is that frosted? Is that coming back?
It's funny you say that, because it seems like Skutt, year in, year out, if you look at the bench too, they have like a frosted, like bleached hair theme. So I think it's never gone out if you're a Skutt player.
We looked at their tradition and their, you know what they've done over the years. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
And again, Skutt having plenty of success as McDowell's shot comes up short.
Good D there. Good D, not allowing a set shot. Moving with the ball.
And worked inside to Scholl, trying to back down Gardner, kicks it out. 3 doesn't drop for O'Doherty.
Crete's doing a really nice job limiting the shot opportunities, rebounding. Gardner is leading the way with 4.
Strong take, and it drops for Eggy.
Right on time for Eggy. Got that nice screen on the left side. That lane opened up for him. Extended with that right arm.
Rolling off the rim, Van Dyke just misses.
Yeah, just a little heavy off the glass.
And again, a stark contrast in what we're seeing offensively. 5 field goals for Skutt, 4 of them are threes. On the flip side, you have about 10 field goals for Crete, just 1 3.
There's the big fella, Scholl, off the inbounds. How do you lose 6'8"?
Coach Siski probably wondering the same thing. We have a foul there, and McDowell's helped up. And there is head coach Tony Siski. 4th year with this Crete program. Success seems to go wherever he goes. Started in Scotts Bluff, won a championship there, went to Norfolk, won a state championship there. Now he's at Crete and vying to do the exact same thing.
Funny how that works, isn't it? A lot of familiar faces down here at the state tournament. Just saw head coach Jim Weeks and Jackson Weeks doing their thing for Auburn. Back to their 6th straight title game.
That 3 long from Gardner.
I know shooters shoot, and in order to get out of a slump, you got to keep shooting, but Scholl, there we go. Hits the bunny shot, then backs it out, shows you that versatility we talked about, cans a 3. I think if I'm a Crete fan, I want Gardner to maybe take something closer.
And McDowell comes right back. Or he's a 3.
Yeah, just have McDowell take all of them. No, he is on fire, man.
He's got the balance down where he's doing that diagonal, leaning forward, just throwing it up.
Yeah.
I can't even comprehend how to get my body to do that in a halfway decent.
It's almost impossible to defend, right? It's like that, like a fadeaway or a type of a hook shot where you can't get a hand in the face because he's just moving away from that defender throughout the shot. There's head coach Siski barking out orders.
Now officially his coaching career, 6 years at Raymond Central before he went to Scotts Bluff. He was there for 9, got that state title, and then went to Norfolk for 4, won a state title, and yes, is in year 4 at Crete.
And he's knocking on the door.
A Ralston grad of 1995, played guard at Midland in Fremont as well. So
high school ball for the Rams. Sky blue, baby blue, always looks sharp.
4-point lead for Crete as we near the 3-minute mark. With a foul on the rebound, it's going to go against the Cardinals, specifically Reese Burton.
Burton, a senior, reserve guard, trying to get in there. I mean, you like the demeanor, you know, getting in there, fighting for that rebound, taking on 2 guys and giving up a little size. And yeah, you saw that wayward left arm kind of come across and catch a Skyhawk there.
Well, be sure to stay tuned for our halftime highlights brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman will help make your jewelry dreams come true. Check them out at either of their 2 Lincoln locations or in Grand Island. 3 on the way, nothing but net. Scholl is heating up.
Look out when number 44 has it going on from beyond the arc. This Skyhawk bunch is really, really difficult to stop.
And we have a foul called against the Skyhawks. Let's look at this again.
Yeah, just catch and shoot, so smooth with the ball in his hands.
Again, just a junior as McDowell seemingly can't miss.
Little give and go, all in one motion as well. That type of shot, I mean, the level of difficulty.
Skip pass across.
Oop.
And out of bounds, turnover.
Yeah, right idea there from Van Dyke. Trying to find an open shooter, just put a little too much on it. Coaching staff for the Skyhawks saying pressure the ball, get up, get out. Extending that man-to-man defense, full court.
That is from NBA range, and that's nothing but net.
Oh, and he turned to the home crowd and roared, pumped his fist. That really got him going.
21 for Aiden McDowell here in the first half, still 90 seconds to play.
Now Skutt has to operate their offense with a fired up student section behind him.
Nearly stolen away. That's going to be another foul on Burton.
Oh, that's where Burton probably didn't have to foul there. You had Skutt kind of reeling offensively, looking for an extra pass. Defense was holding. You know, it's for fast-paced and as many highlights have we seen in this first half. A little surprising. Crete's just sitting there with 4 fouls. Omaha Skutt with only 3. Speaks to how disciplined these 2 teams play defense. I mean, it's tough defense. Wow. Oh, what a move. Just short.
Crete coming the other way. Good active hands from O'Doherty.
Yep, good call.
Again.
O'Doherty right away with those quick hands. Right into your living room.
Six-point advantage for Crete. 1 minute to play. Triple team on Scholl, and he's fouled, no shot.
Well, that was another one of those cases where I wasn't sure was a whistle for the travel or a foul. On this occasion, it was the foul. But yeah, once Gardner went for the steal on the the feed-in pass, didn't come up with it. You saw 2 defenders from Crete collapse. And collapse a little too aggressively, committing the foul.
"13 points now for Scholl.
Going 1 for 2 from the foul line, so I think if I'm a Crete fan, I would take that. I'd say, you know, good foul, save it a point.
Wide open corner 3, long. That was attempted by Wendelin. It looks like Skutt will now hold for 1.
How about this? Skutt just ripped down his 6th rebound. Huge impact defensively, offensively. You just mentioned the 13 points.
4. Shot is off. Gardner got a piece of it. And that'll send us to halftime. Crete leading Skutt 31-26 here at PBA. Don't go anywhere. Halftime show, highlights, stats, and analysis all coming up. You're watching State High School basketball on News Channel Nebraska.
Hello, this is Greg from Family Physical Therapy. We've grown a lot since we opened our doors in 1993, but our philosophy remains to provide excellent patient care above all else. Our patients are greeted with smiles, and our therapists are driven by their patients' success in achieving goals. We provide physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy to those of all ages. Family Physical Therapy has locations across Nebraska. Stop by a clinic near you today.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Zollner Ford in Beatrice has options to make the process of buying or maintaining vehicles easy and enjoyable. If you have your sights on a new vehicle, a member of our sales team would love to show it to you in the warmth of our showroom or bring it right to your driveway. For maintenance, we offer a few options to make service appointments convenient, like free pickup and delivery within 25 miles of Beatrice, including all of Lincoln. We can also come to you with our mobile service unit to help quickly get going again. Zollner Ford in Beatrice. Sales and service with a smile.
Your life can change with one heartbeat, and that was mine. Pregnant at 16, scared, and wondering how my mother would react was terrifying. This is Selma. I made the right decision. I can't imagine if I would have ended this beautiful life. Your baby is a person that deserves their life and your love. Adelina has filled my life with tremendous joy. There are difficult times, it's a life changer, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. My faith is my strength. You are not alone. Call your local pastor to talk.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
And welcome back to Pinnacle Bank Arena. Halftime as Crete leads Skutt in the first of 2 Class B semifinals here on News Channel Nebraska. Brandon Axelman joined by Jim Hansen yet again as we are covering more state basketball. Jim, how you doing today?
It is awesome. You know, you have such a great job to be down here and be around all these great high school athletes and coaches. This is, semifinal Friday. I think it's the most exciting time for high school sports here, whether it's girls or boys. It may be even more so than the championship ones. But it's great. It's a great atmosphere, both whether it be Devaney or Pinnacle. How great it is for all of our high school athletes to be able to be in this, and for you guys to be covering this, it is awesome.
Jim, it's our absolute pleasure, and a big reason why we can do this and have is because Currency is a presenting sponsor of our high school sports. You're the community outreach coordinator for Currency, which is under Sandhills Global.
Yep.
And Jim, there's something new that Currency's working with you want to tell us about.
Absolutely. One of our newest platforms that we just started this month is Auction Values. It's a go-to resource for tracking equipment, truck and trailer auction results in the United States and Canada. Through Auction Values, auctioneers, dealers, and customers can stay informed about their current equipment auction values, upcoming auctions, and market trends. Auction Values features actual real auction prices for heavy construction machinery, farm equipment, trucks and trailers, RV motorsports, livestock, lifts, and all sorts of other equipment that goes with it. And we are so excited to start it for all the hardworking farmers, ranchers, and contractors in the great state of Nebraska. So we're out here to help you guys. Hope you use Auction Values. It's going to be awesome. And you know what? It's hard to believe we are already 2/3 of the way done with high school sports, and the next time you and I get together, it's going to be that nice, hot, sweaty state track meet. So all you great fans that are out there in Nebraska, if you've never been to the state track meet, get to Omaha and go to it. Basketball, unbelievable, and we can't even wait to see what's going to be in store down the road.
So to sum up, if you need to finance heavy equipment or machinery, go to Currency. If you want to sell it, go to Auction Value.
You bet.
And Jim, lastly, we appreciate working with you as always, but why is it high school sports here in Nebraska that is something that Sandhills and Currency truly believe in?
You know, just to be part of high school athletics, I've been involved with it since the 1980s, and even being as a high school athlete, and to have great people like, all the media people, but people like Mike Sauter and Bob Jensen and Bobby Mills and Greg Mays and you guys at News Channel Nebraska. I've heard so many great things about the coverage and how everybody is so appreciative. People that are in the Panhandle, Northeast, Southeast, Southwest that can't get down here, but they get a chance to see you on there. That's awesome, and that's what we need for our athletes, our coaches, our communities here in Nebraska.
Jim, always a pleasure. Looking forward to talking to you again at State Track.
Absolutely, my friend. Have a great championship Saturday and a great rest of the semifinal Friday.
That's Jim Hansen with Currency, a presenting sponsor of all of our high school sports here on News Channel Nebraska. We'll have more halftime show coming up shortly.
This is Amy from Magnolia's Home Decor and Design in downtown Norfolk.
And I'm Kate. Let's welcome in spring.
If you're ready for vibrant colors, silk florals that are remarkably real, and a new look for inspiring your space, come visit us at Magnolia's.
From spring to everyday designs for your home, we've been busy creating looks that will make your home warm and inviting for your friends and family.
Watch us live on Facebook 6 days a week. Stop in and see us in downtown Norfolk, or visit us online at shopmagnoliasonline.com.
A new year, a fresh start, a resolution to grow more, gain more, give more. The process is the same: plant, grow, harvest. But the way you do it is always evolving. And so are we, Aurora Cooperative. Grow, gain, give. Aurora and you.
To sum up the past 20 years in one word, exceptional. It's one of our core values. But our people have been truly exceptional. Our customer support has been exceptional. In 20 years, where will Allo be? When we started, we were just a business fiber company. then the demand came from residential. Now the products of both business and residential just continue to expand. We've got to start with customers' needs and always work backwards. The customers will tell us, and our teammates will take us there.
Welcome back. 3 minutes away from this third quarter, but before we get there, let's take a look at our halftime highlights brought to you by Sartor Heyman & Jewelers, where they have stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones at their Lincoln and Grand Island location. So you had the basket knocked down by Scholl. He really came on specifically in that second quarter, Andy, but Skutt in that first, it was all threes for them.
Yeah.
It was all twos for Crete in the first quarter, and then it sort of switched where Crete started hitting all the threes in the second quarter.
Yeah, both teams shooting phenomenally from beyond the arc. Nice ball movement there, sharing it around, and Svitak got one to go at the rim, but Skutt went 6 for 11 from three-point land. Crete came roaring back in the second quarter, going 4 from 10 for three-point land.
There's Cannon with the breakaway, and here are the threes we're talking about. Aiden McDowell, ridiculous first half, 21. I'm told by our team's Jake Bartecki down in Beatrice, that is a season high for a first half for McDowell, 21.
Yeah, and his all-time season, our point total is 38, so he's on his way.
And then you saw Scholl. He had 4 points in the first quarter, but he knocked down a pair of threes in the second. Sitting at 13 currently, and then this was the NBA range three from McDowell again. He is shooting at an extremely high clip.
Yeah, and what do? You saw the defender there at the back of your screen was guarding him, and was guarding him, out by the logo. He is still able to hit nothing but nylon. So true, so smooth with that shot from downtown.
Well, 5-point game, third quarter coming up when we return here on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Hi, this is Misty. Here at Family Physical Therapy, we strive to go beyond your symptoms, ensuring you have access to quality, individualized care. We offer physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Family Physical Therapy has an excellent staff that cares about our patients' success. Whether you're suffering from a sports injury, a stroke, or working to improve balance and coordination, Family Physical Therapy is here to help. When you're here, you're family. Visit us at one of our many Nebraska locations today.
And welcome back. It's time for second half basketball. Semifinal Friday, game 3 of the day, game 1 for Class B in this afternoon docket. Glad you're with us. Brandon Axemit, Andy Klassen, and Eric McKay with you for this one.
Yeah, a couple keys here, Brandon, for the Skyhawks. They got to try and limit Aiden McDowell, and I don't know how you do that because he's just been on fire, unconscious. Maybe slide a double team over to him a little earlier throughout that offensive possession. And then for Crete, there's not much you can poke holes in their game. They played such a solid game. It's just that Skutt, they're so disciplined on the offensive end. They're going to score.
They got it inside to Ziebold, who was just unable to convert on the half's opening possession for the Skyhawks. 5-point advantage as Gardner drives inside, count the basket, and one.
So I absolutely love the opening 2 offensive possessions from these 2 coaching staff. George Ziebold kind of got lost in that first half, right? Well, Scholl had a big half, so we got to get that other big guy involved. And if I'm a Crete fan, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Gardner hasn't really been hitting him from outside. Let's get him something where he's working towards the rim as he completes the 3-point play.
First points of the game for Gardner. It's now a 7-point advantage for the Cardinals.
Oops.
And Cannon can't handle the pass.
Yeah, a little low. That's a tough pass, trying to go baseline. Cardinals are so good defending that baseline.
Now McDowell from the corner. That's the first miss we've seemingly seen from him all day.
Yeah, I didn't know he could do that.
Currently sitting at 21, yes, and the Skutt student section sure to jump on that opportunity to let Aiden know.
Well, hey, they're not always available.
Well, it's stolen away, and big collision. That'll be a foul on O'Doherty.
Yeah, Eggy just not really, I don't think he was ready for this. Doherty just kind of walked into him.
And Eggy being checked out by McDowell. Seems that we're all good.
Yeah, I think it would take quite a collision to get any one of these players to want to check out of this game. Oh, what a pass.
Worked inside. There's a 2 for Sweetok.
Oh, quick timeout. Oh, my goodness. I think Coach Juergens is thinking twice about that, as his team might have had a fast break look had he not got that timeout called.
Well, regardless, a timeout is what was awarded, and it's a 10-point lead for the Cardinals here at PBA. We'll take a quick break and return here on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Welcome back. Crete fans feeling good right now, up 10. Still plenty of basketball to be played, but Skutt forced to take a timeout.
Get a little dance in there, why not?
Never hurts. Always fun to be on the Jumbotron. Or TV, depending on where you're watching from.
Yeah, down 10 though, you still like that timeout from Coach Juergens. Want to settle down this offense, get a good look here, coming out of the break.
Foul, so Cannon will shoot 3.
Yeah, I love the effort there from Eggy. He's the one who had that really nice find, that pass on the other side. Yeah, just a little out of control. Couldn't turn it off before he collided with Cannon. So yeah, that was a nice set play coming out of that timeout. Getting an open look at 3 there for Cannon.
Sitting at 4 points. Again, he had a 17-point performance yesterday. One of 3 Skyhawks in double digits. O'Doherty had 14 and Zeeble had 19 in that win.
Yeah, he averaged 10 on the season.
Defensive breakdown and turns into an easy basket for Theo Bowling.
Bowling just got lost in transition. Set up shop down underneath the hoop. A good switch defensively there for Crete.
And they take it away from Scholl.
Yep, the quick double team trap caused the turnover.
Gardner called for the travel.
Well, he had the right idea. Saw that path to the bucket, to the rim. Just, you only get one pivot foot. This, not the
it's
NBA.
Not right.
Yep,
it's not
the
right.
NBA yet.
9-point lead for Crete. 38-29 your score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. Go green with E15 and fill up at your nearest A stop today.
Yep.
Much needed for the Skyhawks. It's Scholl with his 4th from downtown.
See, and that's where he uses that size to his advantage. He had a shorter defender coming out on him. He still was able to get up a really good look and a shot without the defender bothering him too much in his line of vision towards the rim.
We're going to stay here. 6-point lead for Crete. A reminder, if several of you at home watching are familiar with what News Channel Nebraska does, but some of you may be tuning in for the first time, and what you need to know is we have a Twitter. I guess it's now called X, Andy, but it's at NCN Sports. You're going to want to follow us because we tweet out our broadcast schedule, which isn't confined to just state basketball. We are doing games, football in the fall, softball in the fall, basketball in the winter. We have track, soccer, baseball coming up in the spring. Over 200 games all year long. Follow us, and that's how you find out where we're going to be, what we're going to cover.
College football from east to west, UNK, Wayne State, Doane University, a lot of GPAC matchups.
Supernovas, that's the newest thing we've added, the Omaha Supernovas professional volleyball team.
Corn Belt League baseball, collegiate summer baseball coming up here. That's right around the corner.
Hard to believe, but to sum things up, follow us at NCN Sports, and you'll know exactly what we're doing and what we're televising each and every week. Strong take by McDowell. He wanted a foul. Not going to get it. 6-point advantage. Skutt.
Sometimes you're so good at playing through contact, you're not going to get some of those fouls.
Yeah, that one pops out from Van Dyke. Bowling lets it fly. Almost banked it in.
Cannon catches that on the run.
Scholl.
Yep.
Inside with the 2.
Just an under control, perfect transition, little delayed transition bucket there. 2-man game between Cannon and Scholl.
It's 18 now for the junior. And Gardner travels.
And he was a half step away from maybe collecting a foul. And oh boy, I think Linderman took a shot. He's going to have to come out with a bloody nose. Got to have a little courage there. If Gardner's, barreling down on you, you're liable to take a shot. If you're in his way, you're between him and the hoop.
Gardner isn't the smallest guy out there.
Yep, they're wiping up blood off the court right now. Speaks to the physical nature of this game. Ouch.
Well, while they tend to the court, it's a good time to remind you that State High School basketball is presented by Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. Our coverage is also presented by Allo, where you can rely on honest and hassle-free pricing by ditching unclear terms and hidden fees. Visit allofiber.com today. Additionally, state basketball is presented by Woodhouse Auto, convenience delivered every time, and Midwest Bank, always ready to lend a hand in the communities that they serve.
I think both teams came out with really nice offensive game plans after that halftime break. Mentioned those first couple of offensive possessions where they got a couple of guys, Zeeble, try to get him a good look inside early on. On the other side, Crete got Gardner, something going towards the rim. And we've seen Gardner kind of continue that offensive play, trying to get another one, but has a couple of travels. It's been a hiccup for him here in this third period. That's the original right there, Brandon, left side of your screen. Space Jam jerseys. It's a real deal right there.
It's the only one I've seen.
Oh boy.
Remember when that thing came out, everyone was, I think it was second, third grade.
Yeah, the old Monstars.
Yeah. Good to know that these youngsters still have a reference to that as well. Back in game action, 38-34, 3.5 to play in the third. Skutt cutting into what was a 10-point lead for Crete in this quarter.
Yeah, just really doing it in a number of ways, namely sharing the basketball, getting multiple guys involved. And of course, Scholl, knocking down a three here and there. He saw a nifty little pivot foot move off the block. There goes Gardner again. That is so difficult to stop. Man, he is athletic.
5 points for Gardner, all coming in this third quarter. Van Dyke works inside. Ball ripped down by Zeeble, gets his defenders in the air, earns himself a trip to the line.
Yeah, you said it right. Got his defenders. Multiple guys left their feet here. And it was a trail guy, Svitak, that's actually going to pick up the foul. Good look at it there from our sideline cam.
Instant replays brought to you by 5 Points Bank, Nebraska's better bank. Second one falls. So there's Linderman. Been tended to. We'll see if he can get back in.
He doesn't have gauze in one nostril. That's a double plug right there.
Loose ball, steal for the Skyhawks.
Doherty made that happen. Disrupting the play.
And charge is called on Zeeble.
And thus far, that's just been the type of afternoon it's been for Zeeble. He had a big game yesterday. Just having a tough time getting things going here this afternoon. And that's Svitak's, that's his only line of defense there. I mean, giving up a lot of size. If he didn't get that charge, that was going to be an easy, probably dunk for the Skyhawk.
Gardner gives it a shot. Doesn't connect. Crete keeps possession.
They're going to keep it. We'll give Gardner the benefit of the doubt. I think that was a pass to his senior buddy Verton off the backboard, right? That's what that was.
I think that's exactly what they tried to draw up. Almost executed to perfection.
Gardner remains cold from beyond the arc.
And McDowell, count the basket. His first points of the third quarter.
Okay, so you see the finish. You see him celebrate there. But it's the little things early in this play, the way he fought for that basketball, went and got it. Otherwise, that would have been a turnover. You saw Gardner already bailing out, thinking like, uh-oh, I threw a bad pass, a lazy bounce pass. Aiden McDowell and his tenacity, how he approaches each and every possession. That's what made that and one happen, Brandon.
23 points and counting for McDowell.
Okay, so they got Linderman all patched up here. He re-enters the game.
Three just a tad short from Cannon.
Well, that was a well set, well ran play. Had Cannon with a good look.
There's a good look at Linderman. And glad he's okay. That's a depiction of a warrior on the hardwood.
Yep. Willing to play through it for his team.
Nearly stolen by Scholl. It will stay with Crete.
Skutt's been so close when they've moved into this full court pressure, you know, causing a turnover, trying to get a cheap one and get another good look at it in there.
McDowell hits around one defender. Charge is called.
I like how McDowell didn't argue the call. Just went right to an official, nodded his head, said, all right, all right. And he did lower the shoulder.
That was Cannon.
Yep.
Credit to him for taking the charge.
Yep. Yeah, he took quite the shot from Aiden McDowell. But as Aiden leaned in and initiated that contact, he was expecting the defender to kind of back off a little bit, which a lot of times they do, and you pick up that call, as you mentioned. Good on that Skutt defender. Cannon, Kyle Cannon taking the shot, taking the charge for the Skyhawks.
It's not always fun to take a charge, and I guess I say that depending on the type of player you are. You'll sometimes have coaches, you know, steak dinner, whoever takes the most charges, Team
Right.
Gatorade. But it is a sort of an unsung facet of the game that if you have a player that's willing to take that charge, can shift the momentum of the game.
It really can be a game changer. That one defensive spark that's supplied from that, you know, that tough guy on your team.
5-second difference between shot and game clock as we look to round out the third basket for Scholl.
Scholl cannot be stopped. Just slice through the double team there.
They got 3 seconds as the great effort from Van Dyke sends him into media row.
Yeah, Van Dyke was well aware of the clock and what Aiden McDowell was doing, working to his left, looking for that final shot.
McDowell throws it up. Not far off. As your final score after 3, 43-37. We have ourselves a ball game in semifinal number 1 of the Class B state tournament. Stay with us here on News Channel Nebraska.
I love our Nebraska public schools. As a mom of high school students, I see the value public schools bring to our communities every day. It's where families come together to cheer for our teams, engage with our teachers, and build long-lasting, trusted relationships in our communities. It's where our kids get the skills and opportunities they need to succeed. I don't know if it's that way in other states, but here in Nebraska, public schools are the heart of our communities.
Fourth quarter here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Crete with the lead over Omaha Skutt Catholic. You know, this game holds a lot of importance for the fans and everybody, but there's a lot more outside of this game that holds a lot more importance. A name for Omaha Skutt that has been big over the last few years has been the Scar name. There have been 3 brothers. There was Luke Scar, who was on the unbeaten team in 2020. His older brother graduated in 2018. And Nick Scar was going to be a freshman for Coach Juergens and this Skutt program this year. But instead, he's been fighting for his life, battling leukemia. Coach Juergens telling us that the team has been visiting him in the hospital since this past spring, and it's really provided a lot of perspective to this team on the things that are truly important in life. Now, Nick has been in remission, still has a long battle ahead of him. There have been some chemotherapy setbacks here and there, but the Scars cheering on Skutt as Skutt cheers on Nick to win a battle much greater than any basketball game. Brandon, Andy, back to you.
Thank you so much, Eric, for that report. And yes, when you get down to state, you always get in that mindset, and rightfully so, but it is always something that's bigger than the game that's being played, and that's playing out for the Skutt program.
But you kind of wonder how they're able to keep it so cool, how they're able to operate their offense as Gardner gets another offensive board. And then you hear a story like that, and you go, oh, okay. They kind of got their priorities in order over there at Skutt Catholic.
Gardner goes to the line. 6-point advantage for Crete to start this fourth. Cardinals got it up to 10 in the third. Skutt made a run and narrowed it to 4. And here we are, 7.5 to go.
Once again, that athleticism on full display. O'Doherty was trying to get underneath Gardner. It didn't matter. Gardner was still going to be able to go up and get it.
And to Skutt's credit, we talked about McDowell's 21 in that first half, held to just 3 in that third quarter.
Yeah.
Which is what the Skyhawks obviously need to do. Is easier said than done, try to find ways to slow McDowell down.
Yeah, I was thinking that exact same thing. Good on the Skutt defense, adjusting and limiting McDowell, which you did you really think, was he going to put another 21 up? He could, but the adjustments were made during halftime, and they've been able to kind of limit his offense here thus far in the second half.
On the flip side for Skutt, it's pretty much the Scholl show. He had 7 of the 8 points in the third quarter. No one else scoring. As we have a jump here.
Yeah, and Scholl tried to tap that one back in. I'm going to give him another rebound. He has 8, working on that double-double. That's what he averages on the season, that double-double. 14 points, 10 boards per game. Yeah, it's nice to have that on the starting 5.
He's sitting at 20 points currently.
There's
an added addition to the score sheet for Skutt. It's Linderman.
Right down the center of the lane. Got that half step on his defender. Using the window. Kind of a lost art from time to time in the modern high school game. Good timeout here from head coach Siski.
5-point advantage, 6:37 to go. We'll stay here. Remind you that high school sports is presented by Currency. Does your business need help financing big ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit gocurrency.com for details. State basketball is also presented by Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com, as well as Allo, where you can rely on honest, hassle-free pricing. Visit allofiber.com today.
Well, we've been at this point a number of times throughout this game and into the second half. Omaha Skutt Catholic, the Skyhawks have been able to close the gap to 5, 4, or 6 points, but that's as close as the Crete Cardinals let them get. They've been able to keep them at arm's length throughout this second period, and for most of that second quarter, actually stretched out to 10 at one point. Credit the Skyhawks for, coming back and closing the gap, but they haven't been able to really close it in any further than this point where we're at once again.
Packed house here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. A reminder, if you haven't yet, you want to follow us on Twitter, now known as X, by going to @NCN Sports. High school sports televised across the state all season long. Not just limited to high school, but college and professional as well. Be like the 14,000 others who do by following us at NCN Sports.
Man, this man-to-man defense, it's really tightened up here for the Skyhawks, and that's saying something.
3 on the shot clock. 2, Gardner needs to get it off. He does. It's short, though. Violation.
That violation might have saved another foul on Burton, as I think he kind of got into a Skyhawk underneath, fighting for that rebound. So that might be one of those one of those few times you actually welcome that shot clock violation, saving a foul, possible foul for the Cardinals.
Worked inside, high off the glass, no. Rebound, Scholl.
He can't be stopped.
How many is that now, Boards?
9.
9, 1 away from a double-double.
I mean, he had Gardner face guarding him, extra guys helping defensively behind, and he was still able to kind of get in there and get that board.
Skutt just getting it in before the 5-second violation. Trailing by 5. Strong take.
Yep.
Basket goes for Van Dyke.
And he roars at his student section and gets that energy right back at him. Fantastic take down the left side. See how strong he was with the ball? As he had that extra defender sneak in there, try to disrupt his path to lane.
10 points for Van Dyke. It's a 3-point game. It'll stay 3 for the time being.
The lefty using the left side.
And McDowell unable to get the lay-in to fall. Here comes Skutt. Scholl taking on Gardner. 2 shots coming up.
Continues to work through double teams. That time getting a look in transition. See, we had a scenario similar to this with McDowell earlier, where yes, Brock Scholl did initiate that contact, but Gardner was moving. As a defender, he didn't have his space, kind of staked out, so he wasn't liable to get that charge call. I believe head coach Kyle Juergens mentioned how Brock Scholl has a high basketball IQ, and we're talking with him. I'd say he's right. I'd agree.
Never hurts to have those guys on your team. Not only can play the game, but also understands it, how it works.
And he's 6'8". Yeah,
that also is good.
Helps.
Not a bad thing.
Pretty good combination out there.
2 points separating Crete and Skutt. That off the side of the backboard.
Uh-oh.
O'Doherty gets it up to Cannon. Layup doesn't drop. Scholl follows it up. We're tied, 44 all.
Quite the sequence there for the Skyhawks. Big defensive play, scoring in transition on the other end.
4:35 to go here in the fourth quarter. That's brought to you by Visit Lincoln. See and experience all that Lincoln has to offer. Discover more at lincoln.org.
Talked about a moment ago how Skyhawks have been knocking on the door but haven't been able to break that threshold of 5 or 6 points. Come busting through with the steal.
This is for the lead. Emphatic dunk by the junior, and the roof just blew off Pinnacle Bank Arena.
First lead in a long time for the Skyhawks, and what a time to take that lead.
Coach Siski takes a timeout. 4:05 remaining here in the Class B semifinal. Scholl with 6 points in this fourth quarter. And here's the most recent. The two-handed breakaway slam. Skutt is in business, up by 2.
No, quite the sequence there for the Skyhawks. Churning over the Cardinals, turning that defense into offense, and big offense at that. I mean, these are high energy plays, momentum shifting plays, and you can just feel the energy and the anticipation grow throughout the gymnasium. Everybody wearing black. or Kelly Green, as we established earlier, leapt out of their seats after that two-handed slam.
We mentioned the fact that this was a barn burner 1 year ago in the semifinals. Was the last loss Crete has suffered. These teams did meet earlier this year on December 29th. Crete came out on top 58-52. And we have less than 4 to play. Skutt leads 46-44 here in the semis. Gardner in trouble. Tough D by Scholl, and Sweetalk unable to get the lay-in. 3 on the way, in and out.
That'd have been huge. One thing that bodes well for Crete, they have 2 guys that can find their own shot. In Gardner and Aiden McDowell, they gotta find him.
McDowell had 21 in the first half. He's been held to 3 here in the second. And charge is called. Offensive foul on Resny.
Van Dyke is fired up, getting that charge call. I mean, he's initiating that contact. He's the one getting into that offensive player, but just that, the way he kind of sold that, right? But you did have the arm extend from the Crete Cardinal player there in Renzi.
And it's been kicked up to 11 here at PBA. We're under 3 to go. Skutt, the defending champs, trying to make it back to the state championship game. Scholl from downtown. It's short. He'll get the assist to Van Dyke.
Dylan Van Dyke can do no wrong right now for the Skyhawks.
Wide open jumper.
Oh.
That's going to be a foul.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
McDowell going down hard. Looks like it's going to be on O'Doherty.
I don't know what he's arguing about here because it looked like a pretty cut and dried shove on the rebound to me.
Well, we're back in action. McDowell can't quite dial it up.
Number 1 seed on the ropes right here. Skutt has turned it up, would you say, to 11 a moment ago?
That's what I believe to be the case as we hit the 2-minute mark. Pinnacle Bank Arena is rocking.
I would have to agree.
6 on the shot clock. Blocking foul called on Gardner.
Cannon just doing a fantastic job. Once again, working, beating his man off the dribble. Then that puts that help defense in a really tough spot. Picking up the foul. Get himself another trip to the foul line here. Looking to extend that lead.
Cannon, nothing but net. 6 points for him.
That time's really becoming a factor now for Crete. Gonna have to really protect the basketball. And obviously I want the ball in that guy's hand or Gardner's in these moments.
McDowell pulls up. It's heavy. Crete trying to get the 10-second call, and Skutt, no, rather Crete takes the timeout. The timeout on the floor would have been Skutt.
30-second
30-second timeout, Skutt, okay.
Yep.
Well, as you mentioned, clock winding down. Crete getting in some trouble here, especially that they didn't convert on that last possession.
Yeah. Still 2-possession game, though. But just the efficiency and the energy. Got to mention the energy that Omaha Skutt Catholic's been operating under here last 5-6 minutes, this run that they've been on. It's just something about a Kyle Jurgens team. You know, it's a game of runs. You hear that coach speak. And you just want to put yourself in a position where you're the team that goes on that last significant run. And that is exactly what Skutt has done here at the Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Back in action. There's the trap.
Oh, wide open underneath.
Skutt playing keep away. And they're going to wind it all the way down. 7 on the shot clock. 3 on the shot clock. And that's a backbreaker. Offensive board for Skutt.
And very wisely, Kyle Cannon keeps his wits about him, picks up his dribble in the corner after snagging that crucial offensive rebound, calls a timeout.
We'll take one as well. 6-point lead for Skutt here on News Channel Nebraska. We'll be back.
Hey there, sports fans. Looking for a winning play to make your game day complete? Look no further than Speedy Mart, your family-owned neighborhood convenience store. Score big with the wide range of snacks, drinks, and fuel for the road that will keep the whole crew cheering. And here's the kicker. Our friendly atmosphere and convenient location make every visit a slam dunk. So rally the family and head to Speedy Mart for the ultimate game day experience.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Aloe. You deserve the fiber things in life. Aloe Fiber. And by Unity Eye Centers, your provider of choice in Norfolk, Columbus, Grand Island, Pierce, and St. Paul.
Less than a minute to go. Skutt trailed by 10 in the third quarter. The Skyhawks are up by 6 and trying to return to the state title game with an opportunity to defend their state championship. Scholl will go to the line.
No, they still had a foul to give. That kind of favors Omaha Skutt. Oh no, excuse me, I got to do. Two squads turned around there. Skutt only committed 3 fouls themselves, but are in the double bonus. Boy, and that was a big one right there, knocking down the front end. Up 7.
25 points for Scholl. Now 26.
Yeah, just a solid performance throughout.
That's a big 3.
Okay.
Cardinals needed that one from Eggy.
That was a big 3. Pulls it back within 5, 2-possession game. Now you're just looking to really extend this one out, force Omaha Skutt to get that ball across the half-court line, try and get a cheap one, a steal, a turnover. Make them earn this from the foul line.
First 3 of the game for Eggy. Couldn't have come at a better time.
It always helps to
Cardinals.
have that 3rd, 4th, 5th shooting option from beyond the arc, and that's what the Cardinals have, and that's what gives them this puncher's chance at a comeback.
Well, glad you're with us. Hopefully you're enjoying the exciting basketball here on News Channel Nebraska. The good news for you is we have 3 more games to come after this one. Class B will wrap up with Norris and Scotts Bluff. Next game on the schedule, and then we have Class A tonight. Bell West, Omaha Central, followed by Millard North, West Side.
Some teams that we're used to seeing in those spots, but some new coaches really across the landscape. Bruce Chubbuck Jr. over there at Omaha Central making an impact in year 2. Doug Woodard's not there with Bellevue West for the first time in 500 years.
No more Tim Cannon, Millard North.
Right.
Here comes the pressure from Crete.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's going to stay with the Skyhawks. That was a close one.
Linderman, nifty little move there to save that possession. Oh, I thought he threw it off the Crete guy. No, Crete just poked it out.
So Cannon will head to the free throw line.
Either way, that was a really good call by the official there on the baseline. Keeping it with the Skyhawks.
(52-47) your score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. Cannon clutch from the line. Linderman on McDowell.
Good help defense here.
Off the glass, no rebound, Scholl. And the Cardinals may be in trouble. Skutt 16.2 seconds away from returning to the state title game.
Yeah, and the crowd can feel it now. Heard that roar after that huge board. Scholl just kind of padding his stats now. Look at him sky up for this one. Good for 12 rebounds on the afternoon.
To go along with 27 points. Stolen away. And Skutt will do what no other team has this season. And that's defeat the Crete Cardinals. 55-47. The champs will have the shot to defend their title on Saturday.
The grit of this team is off the charts, Brandon. The way they were down pretty much the entire game, but there was that spark, that little spark in the fourth quarter. They were able to make a couple of huge momentum shifting plays on the defensive end, and they rode that to basically, it was like a 10-2 run. Flipped the script, got up by 5 instead of down by 5, and they were able to protect that lead down the stretch.
Skutt fans elated. The Skyhawks are returning to the Class B state final. Stay with us here on News Channel Nebraska. Our postgame is coming up next.
Life is a wild ride. It's important to have a trusted partner along the way. Liberty First Credit Union exists to provide its members with affordable financial services. Whether it is a large purchase, a new car or home remodel, overcoming obstacles, or chasing your dreams. Financing life is what we do best. Give us a call or visit libertyfirstcu.com.
In every community, there are unsung heroes. They're the ones who make a real difference every single day. News Channel Nebraska and Medica want to thank our community heroes, and now it's your chance to shine a spotlight on them. Nominate your local hero and let their story inspire us all. Winners get to donate $1,000 to a nonprofit of their choice, with over $5,000 donated to date. Together, we can celebrate those who make our communities brighter.
At Zollner Ford, come and see our great selection of new Ford vehicles. Whether you're looking to buy new or you need a car serviced, it's our pleasure to assist you. Our online website makes shopping even easier. Browse our massive inventory of vehicles or schedule your next maintenance appointment. We even offer drop-off and pickup services. Stop by today or visit us online at zollnerofbeatrice.com.
Here with Victoria's head coach, Kyle Juergens. Coach, what changed defensively in the second half? You guys were locked in. What was the focus?
I mean, we needed to make 11's day a little tougher, and he was feeling, he was feeling it a little bit in the first half, and so we did a better job on him, and we just kind of, got back to being ourselves, and we pressured him a little bit, got up in the full court, and then in the half court, I thought we bothered him, with a little bit of pressure on the ball that led to some turnovers, and I think helped fuel that run.
Your effort on the glass, too, I thought was remarkable today. Talk about their effort on rebounding, particularly late in the game, I thought.
Yeah, well, we did one of the few things we wrote on the board at halftime. We had one offensive rebound, and I think last time we played them, we won it. We won the offensive glass 13-5, and I said that's not happening at halftime, and so credit to them committing, sticking their nose in there and going and get some in the second half.
How about Brock's effort in the second half? He was incredible today. What's he meant for you this season?
He's been a lot to us. I mean, he's had an incredible season. He's an incredible player, but he's seen a lot of double teams, and he's seen a lot of, obviously the best teams or the team's best defender, and so he's done a nice job of also finding his teammates out of double teams. That's something he's got much better at in the second half of the season. But we needed him in the second half. He made shots in the first half, but we needed him around the rim in the second half, and he delivered for us.
Regardless of who your opponent is, what do you have to do to win a title tomorrow?
I mean, at this point, you got to, be you, the stuff that you, stress on a day in and day out basis. And for us, it's the defensive end. So I think we hold them to 4 points in the fourth quarter. And, we spend a lot of time on our defense. And, I think to win on Saturday, you got to be dialed in on that end of the floor.
Coach, congrats on the win. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Let's bring in our player of the game, Brock Scholl. 29 points for the young man today. Brock, nice job. First of all, Coach talked about how, offensive rebounding was key at half, was one of the messages. What did you guys do to lock in that part of your game?
So what we did to lock in is we were just fighting around number 20, number 23. Every time we shoot a three, we just go get it. And at halftime, we had one offensive rebound, and we probably finished with double digits or so, yeah. But it was good to lock in on the offensive rebound, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you can hit from the outside, but Coach really focused on getting you inside. Talk about your development as an inside presence. What are the things you've worked on in your game in that aspect?
What I've worked on is what Coach always tells me is when I take a first dribble and I feel that contact, don't pick it up. Just keep going at it, maybe do a spin move, find teammates. And how I've developed that is I've just worked on it all summer, and I've been ready for these moments. Yeah.
But when you threw down that dunk, the explosion in here was incredible. What has the support from the community and your students been like?
It's been great. They just get us hype and give us energy when we need it, and especially a dunk like that, it just gets the whole crowd going and everything, yeah.
Regardless of who your opponent is, I ask Coach this same thing. What does Skutt need to do to win a state title tomorrow?
What we need to do is we'll need to lock in on the defensive end for sure, and we'll need to be hitting our threes and bringing energy and just always chasing offensive rebounds, yeah.
Brock, great game today. Good luck tomorrow.
So thank you. Have a good one.
That's Brock Scholl. If you need him, all he did was score 29 points today. Brandon, I'm going to send it back to you and maybe shop for some lifts while I'm at it.
Thank you, Andy. Congratulations to Brock Scholl, a double-double, and Skutt returns to the state title game, looking to defend their state championship. Let's take a look at our top plays, brought to you by Currency, which makes financing quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more. Visit gocurrency.com. And while the top plays get ready to go, here we go. Top plays. Class B semifinal number 1, Crete, undefeated on this season, taking on the defending champs, Omaha Skutt, with a trip to the state final on the line. First half, three-pointer hit by Dylan Van Dyke. Teams were trading blows in the first. How about this slam for Aiden McDowell? He had himself a half, 21 points in the first half. Crete up by 3 at this point, but a steal and easy lay-in for Cannon cuts it to a 1-point affair. Now we're in the second, 26-22, and Brock Scholl, he can do it inside at 6'8", but he can also dial it up from deep. He hit down 3 threes in the first half alone. There's McDowell again, having a great game. 21 points in the first half alone. It was 31-26 Crete at the break, and the Cardinals started off strong in the third as well. Kenner Sweetalk, 2 of his 8 points on the afternoon. Scholl continuing to dial it in from long range. He had 4 triples on the day. Now we're tied, and this was the turn of the tide. Scholl the steal, the two-handed slam, and the roof blew off Pinnacle Bank Arena. Skutt with the lead. Scholl now passing it. What was a shot, it ends up in the hands of Van Dyke, who gets the lay-in. After that two-handed dunk, all the momentum was with the Skyhawks, and despite this 3 to give the Cardinals hope, Trace Eggy, that was the only points of the fourth quarter for the Cardinals. Skutt turns up the heat on defense. They outscore Crete 19-3 in the final 8 minutes, and they get the win, handing Crete its first loss of the season. Your final score, 55-47. The Cardinals' year comes to an end, and Skutt, the defending champs, will once again play for a Class B state title. Quickly going down your totals, Scholl with 28, Van Dyke with 15, Cannon with 9, O'Doherty with 3, 1 for Zeeble and 2 for Linderman. For Crete, McDowell with 24, Sweetalk with 8, Gardner with 6, Eggy 7, and Bowling with 2. We're going to wrap it up for this game. In about a minute or two, we'll be back with pregame for Class B semifinal number 2, which is Scottsbluff and Norris.
Does your business